Hey everybody, Chad Schimmel here at Turner's Warehouse, and today I want to talk about machine maintenance. And as you can see, this Laguna 1216 is in need of some loving. And this isn't, it looks terrible, but this isn't abnormal abuse. This machine is in our shop, which is swamp cooled for about 6 months straight. So we get a lot of rust here, even though we're dry in Arizona, because we pump swamp cooled air into our shop all summer long. And also we were doing some polishing on this, so it got extra wet. So I want to talk about machine maintenance and cleanup of a lathe like this. So first thing I'm gonna do is just put on some gloves. Nothing I'm gonna use is particularly toxic, but it'll just keep my hands from having all the rust and whatnot on it. So you can see the quill needs some attention. The tool rest, the bed, even the headstock is a little chunky. So we're gonna clean this up. Now what I'm gonna use today is just WD-40. And this is a spray bottle with WD-40 because we get it in the gallon. I'm gonna show you some silicone lubricant. I'll leave that there. And also some Glide Coat. And these are made for tools like this, but if you don't have them and you have WD-40, go with that. So first thing I'm gonna do is grab my little sponge here. We just keep this, it's a little 180 sanding sponge. We keep it on the lathe all the time for this. And I'm just gonna give it a quick sand and just kind of sand off all this rust. And you're gonna see that like muck. So it wouldn't hurt me, but it would get all over my hands, so that's why I'm using gloves. So I'm just gonna do this. I'm gonna extend this out as far as it goes, which it is, I guess. Use a clean paper towel and wipe that off. So you can see that's all gone. And then I'm gonna spray it again with WD-40 and just run it in and out. While I've got it, I can do the front face. I've got some. And I'm just getting that grime off there, and I'm gonna run it out. And you can see the WD-40 right there moving as I come. I'm just gonna wipe that off. So I don't want it just coated and dripping, but I'm gonna do that. So now that the tailstock is done, I'm actually gonna remove it for a little bit here. And you can see this big disgusting bed. But first we're gonna do this. So the banjo, we got a couple things going on. The Laguna logo is actually raw steel, and so is this. This is a hardened tool rest. So we're gonna hit the same thing. Try not to coat Amy here with the camera. We're just gonna sand it down. And you can use a power sander. You can use steel wool if that's what you want. Just don't use anything super heavy grit, because most of this rust is super surface, and you can really clean it up quickly with just a light grit. So that's good. Now I'm gonna hit this. And this isn't like functionally important, but it looks better when it's not rusty. You can see how much that takes off. So now we got bare metal. I'm gonna leave that on there. I can spray this, back up a little bit. I can spray around and just kind of wipe it down. And I'm just kind of using the WD as a lubricant and a cleaner here. So this looks good. And we'll pull this guy off. Now I always like to check the bottom here. So this could be the source of a sticky or clunky banjo. So it's good to spray it and clean it. Wipe that off. You can see you can get all that surface rust off and leave a clean surface. And you can go as long or as short as you need to. For the sake of this video, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on any one part, even though I might normally. Now, the bed here, I'm just going to give it a quick spray down. And a lot of times I'll use a hand sander with like 220 or 320 on it. So I'm gonna hand sand this today but don't be afraid to use your palm sander or a light sander with a high grit. And I'm just trying to get all this off of here, knock all that surface rust down. And you can see it's a mucky mess. You don't want to be shy with it because you want to keep it coming off. And then I'm going to take a couple paper towels. You can see I've got some black staining. That I need to just work a little more to get the black out. But as far as the rust, we've got it stopped there. I'm gonna do the back here. Moving that too far. And we do this, normally it's not this bad. I actually let this go a couple weeks for the video, but normally we do this once a week. And normally our machines are really nice and clean. So this was quite an extreme here. And I don't like to let them get this way, but if you, like we had a lot of rain over the weekend. And I came into a couple machines that had gotten dripped on from a leaky roof. And so we just did this and you can't even tell there was ever little rust spots on them. So right now I'm just doing the headstock. The headstock gets wet from polishing and doing rings and pens and stuff. You just want to keep that clean. Yeah, let's see if I got any more. You get the idea here. So this, just a little more elbow grease. A little more spray. And if it's not coming out, you might need to go a little more aggressive with the sandpaper or the steel wool. But this is actually taking it off just fine. So it's still ugly with the black marks, but the rust is done. And I can spend a little more time later and get out. Like if we pick a black spot here, a couple of them, they actually will come out pretty easy. You just got to put a little back into it. Wasn't that a song? You can do it, put your back into it. Oh no, we're gonna get copyright claim. Just kidding, we won't. But you can see, just spend a little more time. For the video, I'm not gonna keep going on that, but that's what I wanted to do. So now, I've got the WD-40 surface on here, but I'll show you a couple things. WD-40 works fine. If you're gonna do this once a week, we don't have any issues. Like, it keeps it lubed enough. You don't want it like just gooped all over the place because that'll let the dust collect in the WD-40. So you want it on, but you don't want it all wet. But if you have stuff like this is a silicone lubricant. You can spray this stuff on and then do a quick, basically wipe it in type of thing. And this is like a dry lubricant to where it doesn't collect dust real bad. The Glide Coat is about the same type of thing. It's a table and surface lubricant, and it works kind of the same way. So you can do that. Spray your banjo when you put it back on. And I could have done this with WD-40, but we'll see how. It's always harder to do this backwards. So you can see how much better it moves around. So, I didn't put on the tailstock here. We got some good rust here, so we'll take that off. I'll spray my sponge so I don't get you wet. But this will all affect how it slides, so it's nice to get it clean. The rust just is like friction. It doesn't hurt the structure, the integrity of the thing. It just makes it harder to slide. And it looks terrible. We'll do that. Give this a spray. And make sure I put it on the right direction since I'm standing at the back of the lathe. And you can see like that glide coat really helps. And you can see this bed, as rusty as it was, maybe we can put up a before and after, I don't know if we have that technology. But it makes a big difference. So a little bit of machine maintenance will make everything move easier, work easier, and keep it in good shape. So spend a little time doing this quite often. If you have any questions, reach out to us on Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube.